Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Today, we're going to look at my Spyderco collection. And we're looking at my Spyderco collection for one reason in particular, which I will get to in just a minute. I never meant to have this many Spydercos. In fact, I generally like to say that I don't like Spyderco. Clearly, I'm lying. I don't really. They're not my kind of knives. Well, a couple of them are. You know, the Spidey Chef here. Absolutely my kind of knife. Titanium and fancy blah, 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 blah. Right, I love it. And of course, the Paisan. Integral titanium, S90V. I mean, I collect super knives. But here's the thing. If I had to recommend one knife company, just one, to everyone that asked me what kind of knife they should get, it would be Spyderco. And it would be Spyderco because Spyderco makes a knife for everyone in every budget. They do. They make $30 knives, they make $600 knives, and they make everything in between, and all of them, at least today, are very well made. So even though I don't want to collect Spyderco, I mean, I have a collection. It's just kind of something that happened. I do recommend them all the time. Now, sure, you can spend less money on a lot of knives and get different, and get other knives for less money, whatever, but persistently over the brand. If you want a good knife, Spyderco has one for you, and they have one in your budget. And I like that a ton. I really do. So what do we have here? Well, we have the Rock, a Serge Buchenko design. I love a good cleaver, and this is just a good cleaver. It's cool. This is VG10. It is G10 and VG10 blade. I wish that it was fancier materials, but again, that's me, and this is an excellent knife just for what it is. This is the Dragonfly. This is a great little pocket dropper, fifth pocket knife. This is also VG10. This is a fantastic little knife. Yeah, these are great. This, of course, is the Manix XL. I love this monster. I do. This is a great knife. Oh, the blade's dirty. And why is the blade dirty? The blade is dirty because I use this thing a ton. When I want a knife that I don't really care about scratching or dinging or denting, and I just want to beat the crap out of it, the Manix 2 XL goes with me a lot. Then, of course, it's smaller brother, the Manix 2. Now, apparently, I haven't had any of the other Manix knives, the originals. I'm a big fan of the Manix 2. It is very comfortable in hand. This one's a little special for a couple of reasons. This is their Peel Ply carbon fiber. This is S90V wrapped in CPM 154. It's a Sanmai, and this is a factory second. The Sanmai is not even. It's actually much taller on this end than it is here. It's just not a very well-made one. And I actually love it for that because, while these are a bit of a collector's item, if you find one in good stead, I have a user. This is a Rex 45 PM3 lightweight that I dyed out black because it came a burnt umber orange, and that's just not my thing. I love this knife. I really do. This gets a ton of pocket time too because it is exceptionally lightweight, has a good steel. Now, its slightly heavier brother here, the traditional PM3. If I said PM2 here, I apologize. That's a PM3. I know that. I'm just looking at a whole... Anyway, they all look the same. This is my PM3. This is a CTS 204P version. I have added a geared style backspacer in G10. I have dyed the scales out black. They were green. I put a deep carry pocket clip on it. This is just a fantastic knife. Now, this is actually not my PM2. Well, it is. Okay. So I have the S45VN version of PM2. This one was given to me by Big Red over at Big Red EDC because I wanted very much to test the S30V up against the S45VN, and I'm still working on that, and to be quite honest with you, I have yet to determine a real difference. But this one came with camouflage scales and had some other stuff. I've added a titanium backspacer and put some black scales on it just because that's how I like to carry my knives. But, you know, this is the standard, other than the backspacer here, this is the standard PM2. And it is a superb pocket knife. I have knives that cost 4 times as much that are not nearly 4 times as much knife. This is just an irritatingly good pocket knife. But that's true of all the Spydercos. Now, I hear people complain all the time. The Spyderco prices have gone through the roof. We'll get to that in a second. But you know what? Materials cost more now. Machining costs more. People cost more. Everything costs more. Why shouldn't your knives? Now, I get it. The fact that this was 100, this is the Shaman. The fact that this was 100, the base model, this was 150 when it first came out, and now they're 202 or 205 or whatever, is upsetting. And yeah, that's a slightly steep increase, but, you know, the market bears what the market bears. People want them. This is probably one of the greatest pocket knives ever made, as far as I'm concerned. Metal Complex has one of these that he put all titanium scales on. This is the S90V blade version. It was a exclusive, I think, from Blade HQ, or could be somebody else. I'm not sure. I went ahead and put in a titanium backspacer with gear pattern. Yeah, there's a thing going. My PM2 actually has the gear pattern titanium backspacer on it too. But I decided to leave the scales carbon fiber because I think that with the titanium backspacer, the titanium clip, the S90V blade, this is just a monster and an excellent pocket knife. I really love this thing. Let's keep going up here. This, of course, is the Yojimbo, excuse me. Now, this is the Yojimbo. Oops. So, as you can see, the Yojimbo lives up to its name. I modified this one. This has been smoothed out. Now, I didn't do nearly as good a job as Hilltop Knives and Gear does. BJ Hill over at Hilltop Knives and Gear does a version of this where he puts a choil in here and smooths this out. It's astonishing the level of accuracy that he works with. I just didn't like the center bump. It was sort of like this one, but in just a really bad spot for my hands. So I took it out, and now this monster is very comfortable. And, you know, I love it. You will see a lot of these have deep carry clips on them. That's kind of a thing I do. I really don't like the standard Spyderco spoon clip. Now, I know a lot of you do, and I think that's awesome. I don't. And for my own collection, I choose not to keep that clip, as you actually can see on every one of these knives. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so this is a standard Yojimbo. This is S30V. This is nothing fancy. And yet this is one of the best just sort of EDC pocket knives going. For a box cutter, this thing is astonishing. For a back pocket knife, it is amazing. I know it's a fighting knife. I'm not a knife fighter, so I have nothing to add to that. I just know that it is a superb EDC, and its big brother is also excellent. This is the smock. I would love to have a custom smock, but because I cannot afford a custom smock, I am very happy to have the Spyderco smock. This is a great pocket knife. It just is. So it looks like a button lock, but it's not really. What it is their compression lock on a button. So you can't deploy it with that or anything, but you can deploy it with the flipper. You can finger flick it. You can thumb flick it. And you can thumb flick the flipper, which means there are 4 modes of deployment in one knife. And the blade is S30V, and it's really, really well done hollow grind. It's very comfortable, and of course, if you put a deep carry clip on it like I have, it rides the pocket very, very well. And the action, that's just stellar. This is the Spidey Chef. This is one of my newest Spyderco acquisitions. This is more in line with the knives that I like to say that I like to collect. It is titanium. This is LC200N blade steel. This knife is rust-proof, tarnish-proof. I've seen people drop these things in salt water and leave them there and come back and they are in perfectly good working order. This is a remarkable knife, and the design alone of this makes it a superb EDC. For a couple $100, it is absolutely worth it if you are looking into one of these. You know, there are a million titanium and M390, and I love them all, don't get me wrong. But if you were going to have one knife, and, you know, your job didn't require cutting 3-inch thick rope full-time. Okay, I get that. But if you just needed an EDC that was not going to react to sweat, not going to react to liquids, you're going to use it for some food prep, use it for some basic package opening, use it for your daily stuff, the Spidey Chef is perfect. If I didn't collect knives, I would likely have just one of these. Honestly, I really would. There is nothing that this doesn't do that I need a knife to do. But I do collect knives, so I'll never have just this one. This is the Amalgam. This is designed by Brian Lai. This has the unique feature of having both a flipper and the deployment hole on a compression lock. I'm going to be honest here. I'm biased towards this knife because I know Brian personally. He is an exceptional human being. He really is. But all that aside, he designed a hell of a pocket knife. This is S30V. It is really comfortable in hand. It is big, which I very much enjoy. It is very nice in the pocket. Some people do a flipper delete, and the reason they do that is because with the compression lock, if you don't get your finger out of the way, the flipper hits your finger. But I have learned that it takes very little effort to get your finger out of the way. And I like having multiple forms of deployment. This is an excellent work knife. It really is. Now, the absolute newest knife in the collection here is an old knife. This is the Delica. This is the HAP 40 and SUS 410. So this is HAP 40 tool steel at the edge, and sandmite around that is wrapped around that is SUS 410 stainless. This was a special edition by a tool company. I can't remember who they were called. I just wanted kind of a special Delica. This is the Delica 4, and so that's what I got. It's okay. I understand why these are so popular. I really understand why these are so popular, but they have sort of been left behind in the action department. Still in all, the Delica is a phenomenal pocket knife, and nowadays you can get them for $180 all the way up through a couple $100, depending how fancy you want to go. Yeah, Spyderco just really knows what they're doing. So let's turn all these over so you can see all, well, the wire clips stay, but beyond that, and the one that I don't actually carry, you will see that all of these have either the wire clip, which I very much like, or an aftermarket deep carry clip. Yeah, I've definitely got a thing going, don't I? Let's talk about the Paisan. So this is a remarkable pocket knife, and I have put a deep carry clip on here, but I have the original clip for it, which will be going off to its new owner. I've traded this for an XM24 sheep's foot. Now, I really like the sheep's foot blade. I love it on this. I love it on the XM24. But this is a bit more of a collector's piece than I like to own. What do I mean by that? Well, XM24s are expensive, but also a dime a dozen. And what I mean by that is if I fuck mine up, and I really hate that, I can get another one. The Paisan here isn't that easy to come by. Oh, they're out there. But it's just, all of these are users. All of my knives are users. I always say, if I can't put it in my pocket, I don't want it in my collection. And the truth of the matter is that I just don't carry this. Now, the person who does want it will carry it, I hope. Or whatever they want to do with it, it's their business. But this is leaving the collection. And it made me stop and realize that I have come to really appreciate Spyderco for what they are and what they offer. So how about you, gang? Tell me down in the comments. Do you own Spydercos? Now, look, some of you are going to launch into I hate Spyderco stories. Here's the thing. I don't care. But wait. I care that you don't like them. But I don't care that you don't like them. Now, let's be clear what I mean by that. You don't have to buy them. Don't. You've had a bad experience in the early 2000s or late 90s. Spyderco made junk and you bought one and it was terrible. Or you don't like the compression lock. Or they're too expensive. Whatever. That's cool. It is. But the nice thing about knife collecting is that you get to do what you want and enjoy it. And I get to do what I want and enjoy it. And the guy next to me can do what he wants. And Women Carry Knives can do what she wants. We don't all have to like the same thing, and if we did, this would be a very boring hobby. But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy my Spyderco collection. I don't foresee it getting any bigger. In fact, it's getting a little smaller. But you never know. Spyderco might release something that I have to have here down the road, and I will. I guess that's it. If you have any questions about any of the Spydercos you've seen on the table today or any of my knives, as always, please ask down in the comments below, or you can hit me up on Instagram. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, well, whatever it is when this video drops, day, evening, morning, I don't know. Whatever it is, I hope it's wonderful. I hope you guys are having a great time with whatever you're doing. And I look forward to hearing from you, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.